Hello guys, hope you like the little green mat. I'm just gonna use this as a placement to put my stuff down for this video. Um, it's been a while since I've actually had to upload anything, and normally the last couple of videos I've actually uploaded have been more like personal video blogs, which I think I'll do a few more of in the future. It's just getting around to remembering to actually get the camera to record at that time and moment. Now, since I started photography about 5 years ago, I've never really used the most expensive equipment. I've always started off with entry-level cameras, entry-level equipment, etc. like that. Obviously, my first Canon camera was the Canon 1000D, which is unfortunately I've actually sold off recently. It was time to let go, and it didn't really do the job I needed to do quality-wise. So, about 3 or 4 years ago, I actually upgraded to this, which is the Canon 600D, which has got the 24 to 85 on now. I've actually had a number of different lenses on. It's done a really good job. This isn't actually the UK released one. This is actually the Japanese release, so that's why it doesn't say 600D. Instead, it says the KISS X5. Now, I actually fell in love with this camera because of the rotating screen and the video capabilities, and at one point I was using this for a bit of my video work, but this is my wedding camera. This is the camera I use. This is the camera I do for all my professional work, like model work, wedding work, and whatever big event work I normally cover. Now, about 2 years ago, I got myself really interested in these new line of cameras called mirrorless cameras, which is effectively getting rid of the mirror mechanism there and just having basically, most of them have just a screen. Now, the reason they caught my eye was apparently they were as powerful as these cameras, but a much more smaller body. Obviously, this is quite big, as it is in my hands. Ooh, going out of focus. So, what happened was, I waited a bit of time when the second-hand market started to expand, and I got myself this, the Olympus EPL1. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The first month I had this camera, I wasn't really totally impressed. Because this has got a smaller camera sensor than my 600D, the low light performance was quite dreadful with noise, and it just wasn't really that sharp. But it was a good everyday camera to have in my bag. A year later, I did pick up one of the Panasonic cameras, the Panasonic G2, which unfortunately I can't show you right now because I've just sold that off. Because it's taking up space. But I was still interested in these mirrorless cameras because they're nice and small, and they still offered all the options that these guys had, apart from the optical viewfinder. Another problem obviously is that this isn't nowhere near as well performed as this. So I still kept on using them for a bit though. I still quite enjoyed having them in my camera bag, so that I had a smaller camera to carry around all the time and not lugging this beast around. So, fortunately what happened was Canon released this camera, which I bought about 3 months ago, and I'm not gonna lie, this is basically my new favorite camera. The same guts of this camera, believe it or not, is actually the same disc. So effectively, these are two of the same cameras. I get quite a few of my friends asking, "Oh, why do you carry a compact camera now?" I said, "It's not really a compact camera, to be totally honest. It's actually the same thing as this, but in a smaller body. Obviously, the biggest thing is it's missing the viewfinder. Even so, obviously, now I have to do. So most of the work is done on the screen. The good thing is it's also a touchscreen, so a couple of the controls are much more simpler using the touchscreen. Now, I'm not gonna. Mainly the video is about this camera, because to be honest, at the moment all my friends are always wanting a camera like this, but they don't want to be big and bulky. So I suggest this camera. The reason being right now that I actually picked this camera up from Argos. Not with this lens, but with the basic kit lens, which is 18 to 55, and a flash attachment for £200. Now, there has been some complaints about this camera, about the autofocusing system being quite slow. Like, it would take up to maybe 2 to 3 seconds to focus on things. But to be totally honest, it's not affected my performance. That's not really affected my everyday life with the autofocus problems. It's really just felt like the same as using this camera, but just using this. I like how it's just compact. I mean, I love the touchscreen. The strap I wasn't too impressed with because I actually used a proprietary strap where you have to trust it. But other than that, it's been okay. I like another good thing is obviously because it's obviously when Canon released this camera, it got a lot of heads up about why it was using its own proprietary mount. This isn't a standard Canon EF mount. But the good thing was that even Canon and some third-party manufacturers decided to develop this, a EOS M to EF adapter. So you have to excuse me, my hands are going over the place. I'm actually using my Xperia Z3 to record this video, so hopefully this turns out okay, especially with my voice. So the good thing is that I can actually mount my camera lenses on this. This is actually my 75 to 300 lens. So I can actually use any of my EF lenses on this, and it's great. Apart from obviously that means I'm having to carry bigger lenses instead of the small lenses for this camera, but it just means that I can just use the same lens that I've already got now. Now I'm not gonna lie, using these bigger lenses does cause the autofocus to be quite slow. This lens especially can be taken up to 4 to 5 seconds, which is quite bad. This is a super zoom lens, and I normally only use this lens when I'm out in like wildlife parks and that. So it can be quite bad, but I think as long as I switch to manual focus, so I'll go like this. Oops, already on manual focus. I can just focus myself. I find using an LCD screen anyways, a manual focus is much more easier done. So it's not that bad really. At the moment, that's it. It's a highly recommended camera for me and my friends. I've already got one friend who's decided to buy herself one now, and I've already suggested what accessories to get. I said the only real downsides are that I've got no viewfinder. I like the higher end mirrorless cameras. The straps I'm not really too impressed with, to be honest. It's nice and strong. It's a good strap, but to be honest, I don't want to be advertising that I'm carrying a Canon camera. And the problem is that it's using a certain sized strap, which is going to be quite hard to replace. So I'm not sure if I should stick on a swing strap or not, like I have done with these cameras. Another thing is the battery life. The first time I got this camera, it only lasted about 180 to 200 photos, which for a camera which has high performance is quite bad. But I decided to buy 3 more batteries, so I've got about 4 batteries in total to use this camera, so I can take up to about 1,000 photos. And I said that's really it. Really, it's such a brilliant little camera. I mean, autofocus during dark times can be a bit of a nightmare. I try using this camera during in my local hometown. We got these Christmas lights that were on, and it was quite hard for the camera to even focus on the Christmas lights with all the contrast with the lights in the background. So sometimes, most of the time, I would say 50% of the time, I would actually switch to manual focus, which sort of defeats the purpose, to be honest, having these kind of lenses on. But it really can't be helped. But it's such good quality camera. I mean, as I said, it's the same camera this. I'm not gonna lie, I've been using this camera. More and more for video work. To be honest, it's actually acting better than this camera. That's a scary thought. And that camera I paid £450 for, and this one I only paid £200 for. So it's a good, highly recommended camera. I like it. I think at some point in the future, I think I will decide to get rid of this. It's just sitting in the back, my camera bag right now, and I haven't used it for like a year. It's a good camera, and I think it might be good for a student photographer who doesn't want that digital at all. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm hoping this video actually turned out okay using my Sony phone. Okay, see you guys later. Bye bye.